Our very special guest, Mr. Mark Whitfield. Mark, I'd like to welcome you to Hilton High, and today we're going to examine the role of the guitar. You've had a lot of wonderful experience playing the guitar. How'd you start? How'd you get started on the guitar?
Well, believe it or not, I got my first guitar when I was about 7 years old as a present from my brother.
Really? Mm-hmm. Yeah? Well, was this your first instrument? I mean, was that your first instrument?
Yes, it was. I played the guitar for about 2 years, and then I started playing the acoustic bass in the school orchestra.
The acoustic bass?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
Play
any other instruments?
I played the alto saxophone in the band.
Acoustic bass and alto saxophone?
Yeah, I wanted to be a drummer, but my mother wouldn't let me drums in the house. So
No.
I got her back by making her help me carry the bass around.
That's great. One of the things that you have had to do once you decided to really study music, you had to work and try to get yourself a teacher, and you earned a scholarship. How did you do that?
Well, I played acoustic bass and the guitar also in the jazz band in my high school in New York and also in Seattle, Washington.
Yeah, and you competed?
And we went to high school jazz band competitions that are sponsored by Berklee College of Music up in Boston, and I won 2 scholarships.
2 scholarships?
Yeah.
All right. In what?
Well, guitar and bass.
Well, it's interesting to me that you had an idea of doing something other than playing the guitar. What you were studying music? I mean, medicine. You wanted to study medicine?
Well, yeah. In school, my focus was science.
Science?
And, I had an opportunity to attend Georgetown University, and I went on the high school internship program. And,
you did a lot of things. Hey.
So, well, I changed my mind, and decided to go into music.
I'm glad you did. Let's get around to the guitar now. You know, a lot of folks, when I asked earlier before we went on the air if anybody played guitar, a whole lot of hands went up. Mm-hmm. So why don't you play something like what they probably have been hearing on the radio? I mean, when you turn on the radio, if you're dialing an AM radio, usually you hear some guitar that sounds...
Showing my age. That's what I heard on the radio when I was a kid.
Yeah. Well, that's certainly something that we hear a lot, but you were influenced by some other folks, in addition to the people who played like that.
Oh, yeah.
Who were some of the people that influenced you?
Well, the first guitar player I ever saw actually play in a concert was Freddie Green, the rhythm guitar player with the Count Basie Orchestra.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How did he play?
Well, his specialized style was playing chords. He played and so forth.
Yeah, I noticed you're changing the chords every time.
Well, he was famous for not playing the same chord twice in a row. So.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's not easy to do.
Not at all.
Now, you have another guitar here, and what's the difference? What is this?
Well, this is just known as an acoustic guitar. The idea of the instrument, how the sound is made, the sound chamber here resonates as the strings are struck, and then the sound comes from the hole. So you get a combination of the attack of the string, because you can actually hear the string resonate from any point on the instrument, and you also get a warmer sound that comes from the hole itself.
Play a little something on that.
But if I play the same thing I played there, you'll hear that the sound is brighter and a little more percussive, and you can hear the attack more directly, because you don't have to wait for the sound, the actual signal to travel through the wire. Through the amplification, you hear it directly. But it's not very loud, so to facilitate playing with a band, it's nice to have amplification and microphones and so forth.
Well, one of the musicians that I remember when I was first starting to learn to play jazz was Django Reinhardt, and he played acoustic guitar.
Sure. Well, Django Reinhardt was out of the French gypsy guitar tradition. And what was unique about him, unfortunately, he had an accident as a child that he burned his hand.
Really?
He was only left with the use of these 2 fingers.
2 fingers?
And he played incredibly dexterous lines with lots of speed and accuracy with just 2 fingers, something that none of us can do. Certainly I can't do today.
For sure.
But on those early records you hear from the Hot Club of France and the clubs in the 30s, you hear them playing much in the same style of Freddie Green in rhythm, just a lot better. And then he would you know, go along with that by playing fast lines with just the two fingers.
Just the two fingers.
I'd have to put a rubber band around my two hands. Yeah, make that happen.
Well, I'm going to give you this one back.
Okay.
And we'll talk about another guitarist who was a big influence on you, Wes Montgomery.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Wes Montgomery was in the tradition that came through all of the, well, from Django through Charlie Christian and other people like that. But what did Wes, what did you learn from him?
Well, I think the main difference with Wes Montgomery is that unlike most guitarists, we all use, most of us use the pick, or you can use a more classical style with you grow nails and use the nails much in the same way you use the pick, like this. Wes decided to play mostly with his thumb. So he played predominantly with his thumb and struck the strings like that. He preferred the sound, and as you can hear, the sound with the pick is brighter and more percussive, but the sound with the thumb is more soft and mellow. So that was Wes's main innovation with sound, and also he was the father of what's known as the style of octaves. Most guitar players played single notes, one note at a time, or chords. But Wes decided to combine the two by playing the same note in octaves in the place of single notes. So that was a nice innovation as well. And also he was great with chord solos. So where you might play, Wes might say, that kind of thing,
Well, I'm going to ask you to demonstrate that in the piece. This is a piece written by Miles Davis called Freddie Freeloader.
All right. 1, 2,
Freddie Freeloader.